I would go to work and my face was like swollen out like this, and just
Jeez.
ooze and pus and stuff would be coming out of my mouth constantly. It was awful.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
I had a great time.
Yeah.
You guys got all your beds on hand, I hope.
Yeah, we made sure that we picked up some items.
Okay. Yeah, it's a weird time of year, especially with Christmas, because like you're getting tons of stuff. But I have a bad habit that anytime I'm going to the grocery store, I'm always grabbing something, and my wife is like, "You gotta do it like maybe 1 or 2 things a week. Like you gotta chill out because sometimes it just gets out of hand." Other than that, I think we're good to get started. Thanks everyone for tuning in. This is another episode of the Scoped Exposure podcast. We traveled down to Florida, and we're going to get in the VR AR space as we're chatting with some of the Vatican boys. Thanks so much for coming on, guys.
What's up?
What's up? Joke's on you. We're in Georgia.
Yeah, we're actually in Georgia.
Oh,
We're
fuck.
We're in Savannah, Georgia, which is like might as well be Florida, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
He lives in Florida.
I live in Florida.
Okay. I think I might have gotten some of those things mixed up, so I apologize for getting the geographic nature.
Nothing.
No one really knows. People always think we're from like Atlanta sometimes, Charleston,
Right.
People.
Nashville.
Yeah. Some people thought we were from like
Savannah's very
North
irrelevant.
Carolina.
I
Yeah.
got you. Yeah.
We're all over.
Yeah. Some people just think it's like, oh, they're just so with the internet stuff, so it's like they don't have an actual geographical space.
Kind of.
But for the folks at home who may not know who you are, can you guys give me a proper introduction, your name, what you do in the band, and we'll kind of get into the episode.
Sure. You first.
Sure. My name's Jonathan. I play bass in Vatican.
Awesome.
My name's Tom Lovejoy. I play guitar. I yell sometimes, and I do. If you hear any beepy boopy sounds on our records, I make most of those.
Yeah, we'll definitely be talking about the beepy boopy sounds. Yeah, I'm very excited to be chatting about this. Vatican has, I think, been on my radar. I haven't gotten the pleasure of seeing you guys live yet, but I've gotten to see some of your sets through, 197 and some of those kind of things.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think you guys are doing a lot of really cool and innovative stuff in the metalcore heavy space. So definitely want to be chatting about that. Before we get too into it, got to do our scoped exposure bev tech check to kind of set it off. Tom was very for the fact that we're doing bevs on this podcast. So how about you guys go first, and then I'll finish that section off.
This is what I drink every day now, and I spend like way too much money on it. It's like $4 a pop, but it's just the Starbucks stock unsweet cold brew. This is like, I do the intermittent fasting thing, so this is what gets me through up until like noon or whatever. But I sleep like 4 hours a night, and I work like 12-hour shifts constantly.
Yeah.
So I'm just a coffee person. So yeah, Starbucks cold brew thing. It sucks ass, but I'm gonna drink it.
Yeah, if it's cold brew and black, it's a little bit more tolerable than maybe some of the other blends and stuff like that they have going on. What about you, Jonathan?
I was informed that if I didn't have a beverage, that I would be eliminated by drone strike. So right now, I have a winter Redbull, the Arctic Berry, and here exclusive, cracking it open right now.
Very sick. I know, Red Bull has done a number of different seasonal flavors over this past year. So a lot of people haven't been fucking with the frosted berry as much as I've seen up here in Canada.
I like this one a lot. I feel like it was like a sleeper hit at first. Like a couple people I knew tried it, and they were like, no, I don't really fuck with it. But I feel like with a lot of Red Bull flavors, it's kind of an acquired taste.
That's fair. I really only drink the original one and the sugar-free one.
Yeah. I'll do the other ones. Yeah, I'm not super picky with it. Like I'll do like the OG or the sugar-free. I really love the watermelon one that came out.
Yeah, the watermelon one was definitely, I think, the number one flavored seasonal flavor of everything. Yeah. I think I can't remember what the like Thanksgiving like fall one was. Kind of tasted like. I'm trying to remember what's that?
Was it stuffing? I don't know, man.
Just gravy and peas. Yeah. I saved this brand of bevs exclusively for bands that I would personally mosh to. So it's called Mash.
What the fuck is that?
So it's a sparkling fruit drink, and it's very weird because there was only the first time I saw it, they had like 3 flavors. I want to remember it was like an orange flavor, like a blackberry, and then something else. But then I saw this watermelon lemon line, and
That looks
this
really
one
good.
is the OG. It's not even OG. It's OP. It's just overpowered as far as it's hard to find sometimes at the shelves. So
People sleep on watermelon flavored stuff.
Watermelon
Straight
flavored does rock. I mean, if I was gonna pick a Red Bull to drink besides the ones I stopped with, it'd probably be the watermelon one.
I actually have a watermelon one in my car outside, but I didn't feel like getting it, so I just bought another one.
That's fucked up. We walk like right past your car.
yeah.
Yeah, I did. We had coffee earlier today too, and I was like, maybe we should get a second coffee for the podcast. I feel like everyone has coffee.
Yeah, second coffee is always the best coffee in the day. It's like the first one is necessary, but the second one, it's like, oh yeah, like it's gonna be a good day today.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm trying to stop the second coffee thing though, because I'm like, my second coffee is normally at like 12:30, and I feel like the shit's still in my system by the time I have to be in bed by like 10. And so then it's like I'm lying awake for 4 hours just staring at the ceiling existentially because I can't sleep because of the fucking coffee.
Yeah.
So
it is weird. Like sometimes I'll have coffee at like 7 p.m. and I'm totally like fine and chill.
Yeah.
Like
I cannot do that shit.
Well,
I used to be able to. I can't now.
What are you drinking at 7 p.m.?
well,
how are you making your coffee?
Like I rarely will put anything in it. Like if I need a little bit of a caffeine boost, I'll do like a chai tea latte. Something
That's usually
like
that's usually my nighttime one too, like a dirty chai or just a straight up chai.
Oh, dude, the dirty chai is the fucking move. If it's not black, it's a dirty chai. That's
when we got coffee earlier, I got a dirty chai with oat milk.
Mm-hmm.
So, but usually in the morning I'll drink black because I'm usually doing some sort of fasting as well.
Yeah.
So black is just like it gets me tweaked and feeling awful, and then gets me soldiering through the day. You know.
Yeah. Is Vatican an intermittent fasting band, or is it just you two?
What a weird thing. That would be fucking hilarious. No, I think we both do it. I don't think the other guys do. He and I are both like slimming down, and the other dudes are fucking bulking up. So the other we're like fasting, and the other dudes are like, yo, I got to eat like 5,000 calories a day. So, like,
yeah, you guys are not opposite spectrums, kind of coming to the middle.
Yeah. So like tonight's like we're doing like a fight night, and everyone's getting together to watch UFC or whatever, and we're they were like, how many wings do we need in that? Like 200?
600.
Oh my god, I could eat like
200 wings? That's crazy.
I mean, yeah. The squad here will burn through a bunch of shit food real fucking fast, especially with wings. We have a couple of insane wing spots here. So.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay.
There's one. I wish I didn't remember the name, but the dude that like you call.
Well, I think that's who they're trying to order.
It is who they're ordering from.
I forget what he calls it.
This one guy here. His weird thing is like it's like a one-man wing operation. So you call, he takes your order, he makes your order, he fucking drives it to your house.
Yeah.
It's his cell phone that you call.
Yeah, it's not even like he doesn't have like a landline for his place. You call his cell phone and he fucking just makes the wings.
Yeah.
He has like a brick and mortar like location. He's not just doing it at his house and then fucking door dashing it over, but he might as well.
Yeah, it's like that. Oh yeah, I got a wing guy. And it's like, no, this is.
I mean, he is a wing guy. He literally is like the wing plug. You know what I mean?
That is so funny.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I'm really excited to be chatting with you guys. The overall intro question that I ask all my guests is just how they got into heavier music, hardcore, metalcore, however you want to spin it. So, Tom, let's go with you first. Just kind of give me the formative records for you and just kind of those early moments that kind of poison your brain to be obsessed with just riffs and breakdowns.
So I think the band that got me like actually into like real head like guitar music was Linkin Park. I'm 30, so when Hybrid Theory came out, I guess I was like 11, and then Meteor came out, I was like 13 or 14. No, 13. 12, I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
but I love
math.
Yeah, whatever it is. But I loved that band. I was like in the fan club. I ran a website. I've told this story before, but their label threatened to sue me when I was like 13.
Okay, wait. You have to break that down a little.
Yeah, I can tell this one. And okay, so I was on the street team, and the street team is like a very exclusive club of people, or at least it was at the time. I don't know what it's like now.
Right.
And it was an invite only situation. And my fan site that I ran wasn't huge, but it probably got like 3,000 or 4,000 views a month at the time. And I posted the link to the signups publicly for it. And I didn't know that was like a no-no because I was like 12 or 13 or whatever. And it was just a shitty website I made in Flash. And
what was the website name?
The website was alllincolnpark.cjb.net. Or it might have been alllincolnpark.tk, whatever like free domains you could register.
Right. Yeah.
It started as a tripod website.
Pixo.com or whatever.
Yeah. It was built off of a tripod thing and then a GeoCities page. And then I found this like Flash template thing I could use. So I built it in that. And the head of the street team hit me up with not Linkin Park's lawyer, but a Warner Brothers lawyer CC'd on the email with this very like, instead of just saying, hey, you need to take this link down, it was like 3 paragraphs of like aggressive threatening of like, this is like what we could do to you monetarily, this and that. And I think all of it, if I had it now, I'm pretty sure I could go back and read it and be like, oh, this is like without merit and has no like legs to stand. At the time I was like, what the fuck, man? Like it's just a fucking link to a website. But basically it caused like a server crash because the website for the signups was meant to only like be able to deal with maybe 6,000 people. And I like directed thousands and thousands and thousands of people to it without really understanding.
That's hilarious. I love that.
But it definitely it jacked up the views on my site, my ads.
You're like responding like, sorry, I was in math class. Like,
no, literally, I did. I wasn't able to get back to them until way later. And I was like, I was in math class. Actually, was in math class. I couldn't deal with this at the time. But yeah, so that was like the band for me then. And then when I was like 14 or 15, it was 14. I met my best friend. His name's Will Turner. He was one of those weird people that's like, he saw Converge and American Nightmare when he's in like 5th grade and shit like that.
Yeah.
So he got me into like hardcore. He started taking me to shows. I think my first hardcore show was this fest called Damage Day in Atlanta. It was like Instilled, Black Paper Diary, Down to Nothing, maybe Kids Like Us, a couple other bands, like a bunch of like local Atlanta things. And then I just got really into like that and then like the Trustkill era stuff.
Oh,
because that's
sure.
Trustkill was making metalcore like a real big thing. So like Kill Switch, or not Kill Switch, but like Bleeding Through, Nora, Mosh Precious Blood, Terror, all of that shit. I was also on the Trustkill street team and had a few strange conversations with Josh Trustkill over other questionable things I would do to try to win street team contest from him.
You're like, look what I did with Linkin Park, and they're like,
I mean, yeah, it was the same. Like,
we're not that big, but
here's my CV.
Yeah, that's how I got into it. I started playing guitar because of like that, because of all that, and because of like wanting to start a band with my best friend Will, because he had been in bands. And then after that, I got really into the Dillinger Escape Plan. That turned me into like a mindless shredding asshole. Likes to like. Side story to that. So I love Dillinger and I love being like very like violent at shows, or like not violent, but like I like doing crazy things. And I see you've got this Bugera cab in the corner.
Yep.
So I had the same cab, but it was like destroyed. So I would take it to shows as like my second cab, just as like something to throw around. And like it was never plugged in. It just got destroyed. So I would throw it in places to like stand on it and do shit. I remember throwing it out into a crowd at a show in an old band I was in. The only kid that caught it was this dude named Andy that has Crohn's disease and is very, 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 it was always very small.
Yeah.
And that cab doesn't weigh that much, but it was more than he could handle the time, and it just completely crushed him.
But
I felt so fucking bad for him, dude.
Yeah. No, that's very funny, like how you brought up this cab, because this was my second cab for one of my bands.
Okay.
Grew up in Winnipeg and then moved out here to Calgary, so I had like half stacks in different cities. And then the jam space that, like, I called it my pro rig, so I had an orange 4x12, and then I'm not sure if you know about the amp company called Rev. With
yes, I did.
Yeah, so I bought one of those like before that they like blew up. I know Derek and Dan who run that. Shout out to them. I'm trying to get them on the podcast actually to talk about Rev and how that came to be.
Awesome.
But so I had a Rev Generator 100 and the orange, and it was in this jam space. And then I like got a text one morning from my bass player Sean. He's like, the jam space, which was like a city block's worth of a just abandoned building, and they just turned it into jam space. yeah, it's on fire. I'm like, oh, okay. So like, it was very strange because it made the news. Like, I think it was like 30 musicians were affected by that, and there was just me. Like, I just lost a half stack, but other people were losing like 9 guitars and 2 drum sets or what have you. So right now, this is the current cab setup. But yeah, no, it's pretty funny how you use that as like if anything, like what's that, those Apple boxes, but for musicians. Like,
I mean, yeah,
just $100 cab.
Basically, yeah, man,
Yeah.
that thing's fucked. I actually saw it the other day because a friend of mine, so that cab like slowly moved through like our community of people.
Oh,
And this
okay.
dude I know named Daniel ended up with it. And he was living with my friend Rain for a while. And he's moved out, but the cab is still at her place. And I saw it today. It's still beat to shit. And I like opened it up and like speakers are just like falling out. And it's like, man, I fucked that thing up so goddamn
Yeah.
bad.
That's
Like,
hilarious.
I might hit him up and be like, can I buy it for like $40 just so whenever we get to play a show, I can just light it on fire and have it.
The inaugural like first show back of 2021,
Yeah.
hopefully, and it's like, all right, let's set ablaze.
Yeah.
Kind of how the Olympics start, just with
basically.
that cab.
But yeah, that's my my basics. That was long as shit, but
No, that's good. I appreciate some of the tangents. Jonathan, how about you go?
Kind of similar in the start. One of the first bands that I heard that was like had like a heavier side was Linkin Park, and that was a band that both my older brother and I got into around the same time. So yeah, he's like 5 years older than me, so he got Hybrid Theory like right when it came out, like 2000 2001. So I was like 7 or 8, and that was like the first I always had a very like musical family. Like my dad plays guitar, and my brother used to play music. But that was the first time really hearing something like that, like where it was like still melodic and catchy, but had like this like heavier, like darker side to it. So I heard like Hybrid Theory, I heard Meteora, and like my first couple of bands were bands in like that kind of like radio rock realm, like them or like Breaking Benjamin, Evanescence, 3 Days Grace. I like 3 Days Grace a lot.
Shit.
Oh, yeah. Jam that all throughout middle school and high school.
Yeah. My first concert ever, it was at Jones Beach in New York. First like big concert ever was Evanescence, Seether, Breaking Benjamin, and 3 Days Grace.
Yeah, I went to that tour too.
Yeah. And it was like 2005, I think.
Yeah.
So
no, this is 04.
Oh, 4?
This is 04.
Oh shit.
In 05, I wasn't going to see this shit, but in 04, I can remember this timeline.
Yeah,
Right.
And Seether did the song with Amy Lee from the Punisher soundtrack live.
The Brooks.
Okay. Yeah, so dope. It's just amazing experience for like 11-year-old me. So I kind of got into that, and then I saw the music video for The End of Heartache by Killswitch Engage, because it was on the Resident Evil 2 soundtrack, right? Yeah. One. Okay.
Resident Evil 1.
And I was like, that just like blew my little fucking lizard brain. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like it was catchy like Linkin Park, but it was just like much heavier. And I was like, yo, what the hell are these guys doing? And it just like, so that was probably like the first like core adjacent band that I heard. And then I had like, when I was like 8th grade going into 9th grade, I had a couple of kids who were like a year or two older than me who were like, had already started like going to shows and stuff, putting me on to some of like the kind of like the local bands and like bands that were kind of just starting to like make some moves in like the metalcore and like hardcore adjacent world. I think one of the first like underground shows I went to was like Boys Night Out, Armor for Sleep, and Chiodos.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Like this is like 2005, 2006. Probably the first like straight up hardcore band I ever saw was actually This Is Hell.
Dude, okay.
Shout
out Travis. Shout out my boy that's got a fucking busted, broken ass finger right now.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
He's awesome first round.
Yeah,
but yeah, they played a show with Bayside. And then I don't know how you feel about them. They were like one of my favorite bands for a super long time.
Bayside rocks.
And they played a show with them, and I think like Valencia and like Spitalfield, like some funny lineup that this is how did not make any sense.
I think that was a Glamour Kills or an AP tour.
Okay, yeah. So I saw them at this like 500 cap room called the Crazy Donkey on Long Island, New York. And that was my first time seeing like a hardcore band, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. And so that was kind of just like went from there, and then I started getting more into like metalcore. Like the kids who were showing me metalcore were showing me hardcore bands too. So like I was getting into like Comeback Kid and Terror at the same time that I was getting into like Amir and like Despised Icon.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The yin and yang of that.
Yeah. Yeah. People that, if you live down in the South and you told somebody you liked Amir, you would get fucking shot.
Yeah. I mean,
my friend group did not like Amir. Any of that shit.
I think this more like a specifically like Northeast or even like a New York thing where like
because we didn't even like On Broken Wings and
which that's crazy to me.
Yeah, that was another thing. You don't fucking like On Broken Wings from at least at that time period. Now,
right? Yeah, you say that, but like you have all those records in your closet, and you're just like you.
I don't think I ever paid real attention. I saw On Broken Wings once in like 07 maybe, and it was cool, but like the show was very not attended, and I never really like. I was like, oh, this music is bad. Like this shit sucks. If you had vocals like I thought it was kind of shitty. Because at that point I was just like, no, I like hardcore. But you know what we both skipped over?
What?
Our easy core passed.
Oh god.
We both skipped over. We were both like after getting into hardcore, made the inexcusable mistake of thinking that you can play in pop punk bands that have breakdowns in them.
Yeah, the Chunk No Captain Chunk, 4 Year Strong era.
Shout out to the Chunkers. Shout out to my boys.
Oh man,
shout out Bert, especially Bert if you're there.
They're from Paris, right?
Yeah, they are. It is insane how French they are. I did another band I was in toured with them for like a month.
Oh really? Okay.
In 2015. I've been in a lot of pop punk bands, and they are French. They're great people. I love all of them for the most part. Yeah, strange. It is crazy how French they are, and there's some weird humanity. In that squad, but no, they're all cool.
Yeah, I think there was probably a little bit of a splitting of opinions because I think that was right around the time when like A Day to Remember was starting to become this Death Star that is that band. So there was this weird like, oh, like they are a pop punk band, but they, kind of came from hardcore in a sense with some of their, earlier material. But now it's just like they're at that scale where it's like they can just do whatever they want and they're just their own entity.
It is an arena rock band now.
Yeah, exactly.
And they just sound like themselves now.
Yeah.
And like there's like bands that try to just sound like A Day to Remember as they are now, which is like more like I guess like rocky.
Yeah.
That is a band I don't understand though. Like as much as I like pop punk, and I do like pop punk, A Day to Remember was a band that I just never, ever got.
I got it. I
like the one song with the one part that sounds kind of like Ramallah. That Second Suck song.
Yeah. That's
which has questionable ideas in it. But yeah. Some of the people are nice though, but definitely don't understand the band.
Yeah, I think it's like one of those those things where it is a subjective nature. Like there's still people to this day that don't understand like Code Orange's sound and aesthetic. Yeah, and it's like you don't have to, but like that band just did, kind of stayed the course of what they wanted to do and said like fuck you to everyone else. And now that they are probably one of the biggest bands in metal in general. Yeah,
so definitely. Sure.
So I think we've kind of laid the groundwork for some of those things. Let's talk about how, Vatican kind of came into place. You guys have been a band for a while now. So talk to me about how, this will kind of be a fast forward of a lot of different things, but talk to me about how, did the band kind of come of the ashes of something else and become that, or talk to me of some of those things.
Neither of us are original members. Okay. So there's that.
Well,
no, we're not. We're not.
You're the second guitar player.
Okay, that's fine. But neither of us were there when the band started, and we didn't pick the name and all that. Okay, so there were some of the dudes were in another band called Coastlines, which was like kind of a heavy melodic hardcore band. Okay. Maybe like melodic, but
when I saw them, they covered Poison the Well.
Yeah. So that kind of vibe. And then the four of the people that were in cosigns at the time didn't like one other guy.
Okay.
And so they started another band without him that was more of a metalcore band. That band was Vatican, because they just wanted to get away from that dude. And then people kind of just started falling out of that. So I don't know how did you join the band? I have no idea.
So their old bands, the band Coastlines you mentioned, I actually I played with them in my old band on Long Island in like 2013. And that's where I first met them. And they covered, I was like, I had never heard of them before. My friend booked the show. I was like, yo, who's this band? Like, I've never heard of them. This name's kind of weird. He's like, yo, I swear they're dope. And they immediately started, and I was like, it just hit me like right away. I was like, yo, this is crazy. And then they covered Artist Rendering of Me. And I was just like, yo, like, all right, I'm in. And I talked to a couple of them after the show and like, you know, connected on like Facebook and like social media, just kind of kept in touch through that. And then when I moved to Florida a couple of years later, I went to a show in Jacksonville, which is kind of between where I live in Florida and Savannah. And I ran into one of them there, and we were catching up, and they mentioned how like, you know, like their old band Coastlines wasn't really doing much anymore. So they started this new band Vatican. They were like, oh, we're just recording our EP, but like our bass player's quitting, and like we have a tour in the summer, and you know, just trying to find someone to fill in. And like it had been about a year or so since I moved to Florida, and I hadn't played in any bands since I moved. So I was like, hey, like I'll just fill in. Like I'll learn all the songs, and you know, this is just like a 2-week tour to like Texas and back. So I was just like, yo, like I haven't toured in a while, like I haven't played, so like I just want to kind of play some shows. And I was actually going to move back to New York after that tour and go back to school and get like a full-time job and do some you know, real life stuff. But I did the tour and I enjoyed it so much. Like I just vibed with everyone super hard. I was just like, yo, like, can I just join? like Vatican was always kind of like the band I wanted to be in, where it was like heavy, like little bits of melody, like kind of techie, but not like too Galaxy Brain. And
what a way to describe that.
I mean, it's like, it's smart, but it's stupid at the same time.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to paint it.
Where it's like, it's like interesting. It's like interesting, like riffs and like ideas, but then also like parts that make you want to like cartwheel into your friends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah, and I think bands who get that balance, though, that's the shit that really like hits for me. So I asked them to join, and so like I joined probably like 6 months into them being a band. So some of them might call me like an original member since I was like on their first tour, but I'm not because I wasn't on like the first release or anything. But yeah, so that's kind of how I kind of fell into it. I decided I'm going to put real life on pause and play breakdowns for a little bit.
I joined the band because some of the dudes loved one of my old bands, and I'm a little bit older, and they were just like, please, 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 please. And I was like, I don't got shit else to do. I'm here to play breakdowns. I was in a pop punk band at the time. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to play mosh part. That's how that shit happened.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's cool to hear, because yeah, it's sometimes like, you know, the initial stages of something maybe doesn't start out like, every band is different. Like it will like, yeah, we've had the same members for years, and it's like, yeah, it's an entirely different lineup, and the only original member is so and so. But I think it's cool to kind of not get too caught up on like, oh, who's been here for the longest time, because new people can come in and bring an entirely new breath of fresh air when it comes to the sonic nature of a band, or just like, you know, maybe they have just a better like marketing brain on like how they want to package stuff or whatever. So I think it's cool to, even though it's not like OGs, it's still like, that doesn't, at least in my mind from a distance, doesn't look like that has had any effects on it. So that's sick.
Every time a new guy has come into our band, it's gotten better for one reason or another. So totally right for that idea.
Yeah. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit here, because I always like to talk about different things that I see on the podcast, kind of either through live videos or stuff like that. You guys had a little bit of a, I'll call it a little bit of a viral moment.
Here it comes.
Here it comes. When you guys played LDB Fest 2019.
Was it
You
2019?
Yeah.
It was 2019?
2019.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, this year has just fast forwarded so
Yeah,
fast. But it was for context, it was the very first year that my friend Steven from 197 was documenting all the bands.
Yeah.
Shout out
And-
197.
Yeah, we probably owe him some money for filming this. The man has definitely helped us a lot without knowing. So
Yeah.
what's his cash app? I'll send him 10.
Yeah, definitely. But you guys started your set with, call it a
shit post.
well, I was trying to think of I was watching the last episode of Mandalorian. It was a platoon of homies who had Nintendo Switches, and you guys were like, shout out Resident Evil Smash, and I was like, you know, being a past game, like I wouldn't say even a past gamer, like I think my gaming activity has ebbed and flowed over the years as far as like playing in bands and doing scope stuff. But I thought that was just such a funny thing to see. So can you kind of break that down from the behind the scenes? Like obviously it was like, okay, let's make sure all of our switches are brought for our set time, and just give me the behind the scenes of that.
So yeah, pretty much everyone in the band is like a gamer or whatever.
Right.
And that was not some big planned out thing. The only thing was we had on the Acacia Strain tour, when we all had Switches and like handheld consoles with us, a couple of times in that tour, we had this like intro thing, like sample
Just like
that would play,
sample, yeah.
and we would like shout out games and like hold up the systems as like a joke. And then at LDB, just a bunch of our friends were there that happened to have their systems with them, and I think Hosian organized it.
Yeah.
Hosian, our drummer, is definitely the biggest like gamer guy. He does the espionage VR thing. We're in this right now. So he was like, let's just rep the games. It'll be really fucking funny. I didn't think it would be like a viral thing.
Yeah.
But we just done it a couple times. We can do the most extreme version of it now because we have like 20 people. We have like 20 people that have Switches, and it'll just be funny and stupid because we try to be like there was like definitely a period where like we need to be like a serious band. And like stop fucking smiling. And like now it's like that's pretty lame. Like none of us are really that like serious. So just like no big plan, just thought it was funny. Couldn't believe that like websites like IGN
and Kotaku
picked it up. Joey from Typecast actually moshing with his Switch was also a sub-viral thing that happened.
That was not something that he was like, yo, I'm going to jump in with the Switch.
No.
He was just so hyped up.
Outside of like 10 minutes earlier saying, hey, everyone, like getting in one of the group chats, like everyone that has a Switch, come up here and like hold it up.
Yeah.
After that,
I don't care what you do, but it was fucking hilarious. We made a shirt because it was mostly us and everyone from Typecast that like plotted it out. So we did like a split shirt with all of us on it of that moment, and Joey from Typecast is on the shirt 3 times.
I don't know how that happened.
He's on it holding, and then there's 2 shots of him moshing.
Yeah, it's like stop motion, like of him like starting to come off, him about to disembark onto the floor, and then like him like spin kicking someone holding his fucking Switch.
It definitely started a thing for a while where not the last couple tours we did, but for probably a few months after that, where it wasn't uncommon for like kids to show up with like power gloves or like super scopes, or I found a picture of Bert moshing with his super scope the other day, or like the duck hunt guns and things like that, and just mosh with them for a while.
And those are prized collections for a lot of people.
Especially the super scope thing was the craziest thing with Bert, because that's actually worth like significant money now. Or like if you watch our the video of us playing This Is Hardcore, our friend Steve Huey moshing in like what's basically a Green Ranger outfit with a it's not a power glove.
Is that from This Is Hardcore?
Nintendo controller. Yeah, he has a giant NES controller like velcroed onto his arm. It was weird because when the set started, he was not wearing it. And then he managed to get outside to his car and back in like 3 minutes wearing that outfit to mosh with it.
When he commits to a bit, he's like,
he does commit.
Yeah.
Really, I can respect that. Yeah, that was like that's the story of like that whole thing. It definitely wasn't some big planned out thing, and
Yeah,
it
so
wasn't intended to make us like some kind of gimmick. Because definitely like there's a squad of people that definitely were like, this band is like
whack.
Are like whack
Yeah.
morons. So, like hardcore is not a joke. I'm like, that's fine. Like I don't care.
It's fine that you hate fun.
Like I just love smiling. So I thought it was so fucking funny, man.
Yeah. No, I think it's really cool, especially just on the documentation side, because I'm a firm believer that like all these like call it old heads have all these cool hardcore stories from different shows, but don't have the photos or video to like back that up or just like enhance that story experience for whoever they're telling it to. So, just seeing that, but yeah, like you said, it wasn't like the very first time that you guys have done that. It just kind of the timing of having Steven and like, Gabe and Eric, like taking the photos for the shirts. It just like took it to the next level.
It was the apex of what overall is kind of a shitty joke, but it was just all the things lining up.
It was just Joey.
It was just Joey moshing with his switch and all of us like doing that thing. That show was actually one of the worst shows I've ever played.
You were very.
I had just gotten my wisdom teeth pulled, all 4 of them, and the 2 of the wounds got infected, and you can see the painkillers that I was taking wear off throughout the set. You watch the video and you pay attention, because at first I'm wearing sunglasses and I think everything's really funny.
Yeah.
And then slowly you see like, oh, he's getting emotional. When in reality I'm in pain. Like I have to stop playing multiple times, and you see me like holding my face because it hurts so
like
bad.
Anyone got some gauze around here? Just like stick it.
Yeah, I mean, it was I was like shoving shit into it the whole time. That started a terrible like 37-day ordeal where like I would go to work and my face was like swollen out like this, and just ooze and pus and stuff would be coming out of my mouth constantly. It was awful.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
I had a great time.
Everyone else had a great time. As soon as we finished playing, I laid on the half pipe behind the stage and just slept.
Yeah, you passed out.
I passed out until at one point someone was trying to climb the half pipe and shove their hand straight into my mouth. My sleeping. They were like trying to like jump up onto this half pipe to climb onto it to do whatever, and they didn't see that I was there, and I was I'm like,
oh, because you were at the top, so you just got this.
Yeah. So I just didn't know what was going on. It hurt so fucking
Yo, bro,
bad.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. It was some girl, and she didn't apologize or anything. She just kept going. I was like, your hand is covered in like saliva and pus now because of me.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a little more triggering this year than anything. But
that was the precursor to.
Yeah.
Corona. Yeah, I generated Corona from that.
Yeah, it wasn't some bat soup or whatever. It was that in 2019 and just lived underground for a year. But no, that's really funny to see. And I think a lot of those moments, like you were saying at a hardcore fest, like most of those aren't planned out. It's like in the moment decisions, and it just is, someone who's either filming or taking photos to take that out and just like push it to other people. Cause there's been plenty of times at Wild Rose that happens here in Calgary where something will happen and like I know it's just like so-and-so is just being a buffoon or whatever, but it just becomes that much bigger. So.
It becomes a thing.
It also, so I was talking about this with somebody the other day, like, were either of you ever on the Bridge 9 board that much when it was still a thing? Did you ever go on the Bridge 9 message board?
No,
okay,
that was before my time.
Fair enough. How old are you?
I'm 27.
Okay. There was this great thread in there for years, like the hardcore rumors and myths thread, like 47 pages of just all those stories that you're talking about where like everyone saw it, but no one has any evidence of what actually happened. And I used to go back and read that shit all the time, but I was so bummed because Bridge 9 deleted the whole message board recently,
right?
And the whole archive. But honestly, the reason they probably did it is because of threads like that and a bunch of other very questionable things that were on that website where
that would probably
so many people would go down, could go down. If someone was able to go on like the Wayback Machine and like see some of the things that were on there, because like 2006 hardcore internet talk was a way different time,
right?
And there were no rules. The mods, there was no moderation on there at all.
I saw a tweet the other day that was like, if you were a woman in hardcore during the time of the Bridge 9 board, you may be entitled to financial compensation.
I mean, honestly, it was very
pretty much. Yeah,
it was very mean.
Things were a lot more wild and went definitely like a lot more unchecked.
Yeah,
definitely
back then.
Yeah, well, that's a dangerous road that we won't go too far down. But
Yeah.
I think the,
If you were there, then you know.
yeah, exactly. But I think I wanted to use that the whole Switch starter moment to kind of transition here. So I think that I've kind of seen in my lifetime where it's like, doing different things. If you're a fan of video games was like nerdy, and now like nerdy is like more if you're like obsessed about like buying stocks and like things like that. Like it doesn't have the same weight that it does. So, and I know, especially, through you guys and some other bands that I know of will kind of do homages either through, certain shirts or samples to different video games that had influence. So I wanted to do, and I think the three of us can kind of do this top 5 list, but I think it would be cool if we did a top 5 most influential video games for heavy music.
For heavy music specifically?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So wait, are we each doing our own?
I feel like we can do it as one versus,
Okay.
or if you want we could do it like everyone gets a top 3.
Well, I mean, I could rant about this forever.
Sure.
So we should probably just do it collectively, so I don't take all the time.
Okay. Sure.
The Tony Hawk games in general.
Yeah, I think you can pool that as one thing versus
Yeah.
Pro Skater 3 or American Wasteland. Or
Like
whatever.
if I was gonna have to pick one, it would be Underground 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that has 25 to Life on it.
Gotcha.
One of the best 25 to Life songs with the least understandable lyrics. I don't know the names of it.
What song is it?
The one that goes like, I don't remember the words, but those, I mean, I think you talk to so many people like that's how they got into like punk or hardcore, bare minimum punk.
Yeah.
Because of those soundtracks, because those are like that's how those are so formative to so many people. Those games specifically, and like obviously like late 90s, early 2000s skateboarding culture, X Games culture was so big.
Yeah.
That was like the gateway to a lot of people. So I would put not Thug 1, because Tony Hawk Underground 1 I played on my Xbox with a custom soundtrack, because you could do that on the Xbox.
Oh, I
So
do
my custom
remember that. Wow.
Remembering Never, He Is Legend, other like Trust Kill bands, Youth of Today maybe, and Unity. The worst band ever on Revelation was Unity. So you would hate it.
Yeah.
It sounds like even worse uniform choice.
Oh.
Yeah. So what about you?
Yeah. So I think. Oh.
No, we're good. Okay.
No, we were frozen for a sec, so I was like trying to make sure. I was just gonna say, I think Tony Hawk, we'll have too many arguments from people in the comments. So I think Tony Hawk Pro Skater collectively
That's fine.
Is an absolute choice. For me, it was Pro Skater 3. I recently played through American Wasteland as well. I don't feel like that soundtrack.
A lot of people don't like that soundtrack. I like that soundtrack.
I feel like it's got some choices. I think it's the best story game in the Tony Hawk franchise. But if I had to pick one, for me, it's Pro Skater 3. So
okay,
Jonathan, how about you add one more to our list here?
Well, I know for us personally, like Vatican in general, I think the Metal Gear Solid series is probably like one of the most influential on us.
Not necessarily musically, but as far as like imagery.
Sure.
And like lyrical content and things like that, and just like mentality wise, the Metal Gear stuff, and also like just things that Hideo, like, are you a fan of Kojima or like any of the Metal Gear stuff at all? Did you play any of those games?
I think because I was more on the Microsoft Nintendo spectrum, I didn't get to play those games as much, but I had plenty of fans that just raved about it. I like watched a lot of videos online, so I wouldn't say I'm as close to the sun, but I'm widely aware of it. Yeah.
So I think the reason that stuff, I wish Hosien was here, because Hosien is like the Metal Gear guy, and he would be able to tell you why. But Hideo Kojima, as far as like a developer, and the Metal Gear series is the biggest example of this, is where we talk about like, oh, we're serious, but we're also kind of like funny shitheads too. Like the Metal Gear series has so much of that, where it's just like, or even like Death Stranding, his most recent game, which has all this incredible lore, but at the same time, you're Norman Reedus and you can just stop and piss wherever you want, and you make grenades out of your own shit. Like, like that idea of like being so highbrow, but not taking yourself too serious is like
Sure.
an important thing, but also being absolutely uncompromising in your art, no matter what. A big thing with Metal Gear is it's just such like a weird what the fuck sci-fi story, and he got a lot of pushback from Konami to be able to continue making games like that. So he left, started his own company to make this Death Stranding game, and that idea of just like you will take any amount of risk to not have to compromise for your art no matter what. That's like a really important thing to us as far as like people's mentality.
Yeah, sure.
So I would say the Kojima stuff in Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Another thing that's really important to us and for heavy music is the Doom 2016 soundtrack.
Okay.
Have you listened to that ever or played that game?
I haven't listened to that record or
Okay.
that
You
that
should,
soundtrack, I guess. Yeah.
Do you like Meshuggah or anything like that? Like, do you like any?
Yeah.
Okay. If you like 8-string guitar shit, 7-string guitar shit, you have to listen to this record. It's
insane.
Like the game is incredible, but part of the reason that the game is incredible is the soundtrack. This dude, Mick Gordon, did it. He is a fucking genius. His main thing that he's known for is like, before this was crazy synths. And his synth work is really good, but this record is full of insane synth and then just like caveman Meshuggah riffs. Like where it sounds like Meshuggah, but he took all the intelligence away and it's just the ass beater parts.
Mm-hmm.
And that record is like something that like we discuss constantly whenever, like if we have all these songs and all these parts, we're like, play the Doom part, play like the Doom synth part, play like the Mick Gordon chug part, like this and that. So I think like that's not like that's a pretty new game in the context, but if you talk to anyone in like the like heavy music scene, especially in like the progressive world or like the gent world or anything like that, they'll tell you that that is like a life-changing record for them. Outside of just the context of it's a soundtrack of a great game, like the music in it stands by itself.
Sure.
Absolutely.
So we got Tony Hawk,
Yes.
Doom, Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear. So we got.
I'd say kind of as a more general thing would be, because I was talking about this at lunch earlier, like some of like the GTA games. Like
That's actually that's a great pick. Yeah.
Like I love like the more like rock oriented stations. Like we were at lunch earlier and Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses came on.
Oh yeah.
And I was kind of just like singing along to it, and Jose was like, "I'm surprised you know this song." And I said, the first time I heard this song was playing GTA San Andreas. It was the Radio X station, so it was like the rock station, which had like Guns N' Roses, it had Alice in Chains, it had Danzig, it had Rage Against the Machine, and like there's like a couple other gems kind of sprinkled throughout like the other games. Like I think on 4 there's like an Agnostic Front song. Well actually no, 4 has Liberty City Hardcore.
Yeah, it has the whole
radio station. So just like shit like that. I'm sure. I mean, San Andreas came out in what, 2002? I
think so.
So I was like 9 or 10, and that was the first time hearing like, for me that was the first time hearing like Killing in the Name and fucking Them Bones by Alice in Chains.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say, and those are bands that I still love today and still influence how like I write music today.
Yeah.
So I'd say
that's a great pick, honestly, man. And came out of left field. When I was thinking about that question about some of the stuff that you guys would talk about, GTA wasn't even in the picture.
We were actually talking about GTA for a while earlier today. How like not like, because I never really cared about just playing through those games, like how you're supposed to play through them, but just the amount of time you can just sit in those games and just do whatever the fuck you want, just be an asshole.
Yeah.
All of them, it's great. I was trying to think of one more game and like something cool, but the real answer for like video game that's actually influential on like heavy music is Guitar Hero, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Guitar Hero 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Because 3 is also when Ferret and Trustkill were able to finally pay their way in and got like All That Remains and Kill Switch and Every Time I Die and bands like that onto those games. Yeah. And I think I know so many people that don't give a fuck about metal that like, 6 by All That Remains, that's my jam. Because I love the Guitar Hero 3 so much. Or like, what was the Every Time I Die song? Wanderlust?
I think so.
It was one of the
I've legit played Guitar Hero maybe like 5 times in my life.
I love Guitar Hero. I was so fucking good.
I was so bad at it.
I was one of the people that would play like the really long sections on expert with like one hand and would just hammer-ons and pull-offs and
cool, bro.
All that shit. I love
cool, bro.
I loved them. I loved them so
Yeah.
much. The newer ones, not so much. But I think I was gonna say something like Sonic. Like old Sonic games are the first times I think I really heard rock music because it's just really bit crushed rock guitar stuff.
Yeah.
And that stuff is still really influential on me. But like,
even like Sonic Adventure 2.
Sonic Adventure 2.
How many people here are talking about City Escape?
Yeah. Great song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm surprised that you guys, well, you know, this would be an obvious pick for me, but like shout out to my buddy Cole that did this Halo 2 rip shirt. But for me, grew up playing Halo like all throughout middle school and high school, and
we're doing a co-op camp. We're gonna finish the co-op for Halo 3 today. We got
nice.
like 5 hours into it last night. But go on. I don't want to interrupt.
No, you're all good. I think like I think I got big into it when I was doing Halo 2 because that's when like the whole like online multiplayer like came into the picture, and just like not only just the insane like guitar like Steve Vai stuff that they did just to bring it like I've watched so many behind the scenes where they would talk about just like the actual studio video where they're like just like talking about like the opera like ooh, and then just him just wailing like first take is just insane, like gives me chills every time I watch it. But also Marty O'Donnell to like go and reach out to like call it up and coming alternative new metal bands like Hoobastank and Breaking Benjamin and like, hey, like do you like I listened to a podcast where he was talking about like he went to one of their shows and then like just after they were playing, they're like, oh yeah, Marty O'Donnell is like here watching, and they were freaking out because they're big Halo fans. So I feel because Halo was such a big first person shooter game for so many, you know, kids growing up, just like putting that heavier toned music in the picture is like, you know, even though like people aren't probably going to listen to newer Breaking Benjamin, I don't think Hoobastank is even a band anymore.
They are.
They are? Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't care if we shit on them because I'm sure they won't listen to this podcast. But I think, you know, they are an absolute as far as like just being influenced in there.
Oh, for sure. Actually, so that is something we talked about last night. So the people that are playing the campaign are us, our drummer Hosey, and our friend Bert, who just moved down here. And Bert is like the way that people like Mackie are obsessed with Star Wars. That's how Bert is about Halo and the Halo lore. And he had mentioned something like that about how like it was his first exposure to a lot of like guitar music, because it is crazy that soundtrack doesn't have, none of the Halo soundtracks have one sound. Like there's obviously the big operatic stuff. There's lots of really incredible piano moments, especially on ODST. Rain is like an incredible Elidian song. One of my favorite way to make music is that key. So that, but then like you said, all like moments where you wouldn't really expect guitar to pop up, come into it a lot. There's plenty of like even big action moments where it's like, oh, this is where guitar would be, but then it is the pianos. So I like, like those games, like I didn't get into Halo until Halo 3. That's my starting point. So like the old games aren't that like nostalgic to me, but I can get why you would say there's like why that matters to you. Because I like you said, you were a Microsoft Nintendo guy. I was just a Nintendo guy.
Gotcha.
I was just Nintendo until I got a 360.
This is a selfish Halo question just because we're on the topic, but what is your guys' akimbo like? If I'm dual wielding, these are the two guns in each of my hands.
Okay, so for me, it was back when you could do dual needlers.
Yeah, of course.
If you could. But if you're talking like where Halo 3, the spiker, even though it's not that, it'd probably be two spikers. Brute spikers, just because I think they're cool, even though they're not really that effective.
Right.
At all.
I think there's more pride of like I killed you with two like brute spikers. Like
I think they just look like the idea of the spiker is awesome, even though it's just not really that great of a fucking gun. What about you? So he had never played Halo until last night.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So what did you?
Was it the
fresh blood on the podcast?
Well, it's crazy because Halo 3 you can dual wield two different guns. Yeah. So I think I was doing like two needlers most of the time.
No, you can't do. That's when they took it out.
Okay, so what was I?
It looked
like the spiker, but it didn't have the spiker.
The spiker. Okay, so the needler is the one that has the blue needle sticking out the top.
Yes.
And then the spiker is the one that looks like a gun with an axe on the front.
Okay.
With like two axes on the front.
Basically. It might have been that. I think it was that.
I know I saw you using that and then dual wielding the little charging pistol at one point.
Yes, those.
Dual wielding the original pistols also good. Obviously, the most god tier Halo move is sniping someone with the Halo 1 pistol. Obviously,
yeah,
dual
from across
aside,
the map. Yeah.
What about you? What's your move?
For some reason, because it was always like, this is when I was like crazy. Like I'm trying to factor in all like, okay, if I'm using a Covenant weapon, like their shields go down X amount, but if I'm like once the shields are down, then I want to have a human gun. But for some reason, I always like to rock an SMG and a pistol. That was just my go-to. I feel like just the firing on the pistol was so fast, and then the SMG was just a broad range that I could hit someone. So that was my personal. And I didn't see a lot of people rocking that. It would usually be. I
didn't either. But what you're saying about it makes complete sense, especially for like, the meta thinking that you have about it.
Right. Yeah. 16-year-old me.
I might have just given that answer that I gave anyway, because since we're playing the co-op campaign, like pretty much everyone is an elite besides, I think Hosian's playing as Master Chief.
Yeah.
So you just always start with Covenant weapons anyway. So like.
Right. Yeah. You fall off the map and you get the carbine. Yeah.
SMGs or even assault rifles that often. It's pretty much always. I always have like whatever the fucking. Oh goddamn! I can't even remember the name of it. I just have the Covenant starting with the automatic pistol that you don't have to reload.
Yeah.
And then the whatever their assault rifle laser clone is. I can't remember. I'm not deep enough into the lore to remember the weapon names.
Yeah. No, I'm glad that it seems very timely with you guys playing through the.
It is. It's as soon as we get off with you, we're gonna go finish. We have to go finish, so we can have enough time to finish it and then do fight night.
Right. Are you doing like skulls on like the whole like gambit or?
Yeah, we're just honestly, it's just the 4-player, just on heroic, just base, because like Hosian and Bert had been like they went through the first one on legendary, and I think their plan was to go through the whole Master Chief collection on legendary.
Sure.
But especially in Halo 3 and some of like the bigger battles, it's so fucking hard, and your respawns don't really work. I tried to do a legendary playthrough with people off the Bridge 9 board back when the game came out. And it took us like 8 hours to get through the first level. Yeah. And then me and those dudes just never talked ever again. Because it was so fucking infuriating.
Well, honestly, if you're playing on Legendary, it's the fucking Jackal snipers with 99.9% like accuracy. Like you'll just spawn, boom, you're dead. Like you need to play at like a higher level of like teamwork on that front to
and
just
we were not on that at all. In the group we have right now, we're screaming, but no one's listening to each other.
Yeah. Right. Well, guys, we can start to wrap up the show here. The last portion of the podcast that I always ask all my guests is a favorite mosh story that they would like to share. So it doesn't necessarily need to be like, I did this, or someone did this to me, or it happened at a Vatican show. Whatever is the first thing to your mind is how we say goodbye here.
Do you have one? A favorite mosh story? I should have prepared for this one because I knew it was coming.
Favorite time I threw that Bucara cab at someone.
I mean, I've got plenty of stories of like favorite show memories that involve the mosh pit, but they're not really mosh because, like I said, I was in a ton of pop punk. I'll give you a couple.
Sure.
These are pop punker stories. So, Warped UK at Alexandria Palace, big 10,000 cap room in London. Playing with my old band, going out into the pit because I had a wireless system during one of our fast songs, having 300 people circle pit around me, and then a dude in a Charizard costume come and carry me and run in a circle for the rest of the song.
Wow.
That one was pretty funny.
Yeah.
The first time I ever played a show with that band and dove during the first song, accidentally kicked somebody in the face, felt really bad about it. The mother of that girl came up and confronted me at merch later. I thought she was going to be really angry. She wasn't. She wanted to touch my beard and then sign her daughter's boobs. I had to turn both of those things down. People are weird, man. It's even worse. Like the same kind of people, but in Europe, it's even weirder.
Yeah, that's fair.
So as far as mosh stories, ceremony show when did the Blacklisted record Heavier Than Heaven come out?
2007, 2008?
Whatever. Okay, so there's a show at the Drunken Unicorn in Atlanta. It was Blacklisted, Ceremony. I think Have Heart was on the tour or something like that. But the Blacklisted set was very crazy. The Ceremony set was one of the scariest things I'd ever seen, because I was standing kind of off to the side of stage right, and a dude next to me is watching the show, and a guy runs, does a front flip, and his foot goes straight into the guy's face that's right next to me, and it pushes his fucking head through the drywall.
Like straight out of the Matrix, just
yeah. Oh, and then getting this tooth fucked up. This one's bent back.
Yeah.
You probably can't see it.
Oh no, I can see that.
But at a Shattered Realm show in 2006, the same day that Mike Hood threatened to beat me up.
Oh,
Mikey Hood. Which luckily he didn't want to beat up a 16-year-old, so I dodged that bullet. But yeah, getting kicked in the face and having this tooth fucked up for the rest of my life. I'm done.
That was rapid fire mode. So
I got lots of bits.
Yeah, right.
Can I talk about the Charleston thing?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. We were on tour, and this is 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we were playing in Charleston, South Carolina, which usually is a place that like our shows are really cool. Like, because we're like only like 2 hours from there. Mm-hmm. But we were on tour with a friend's band from California. Yeah. And
who had caused many problems.
Yeah.
Tour.
Yeah. They're a little belligerent. And a couple of them were off the.
They were really fucking drunk.
They were really fucked up.
And we're playing a show in a place called Corey's Grilled Cheese. We're playing in a tiny grilled cheese place.
Tiny place.
And a couple of them are moshing too hard because they're too drunk and they're too big to be doing the things that they're doing. Okay. And then you can.
And then basically they start getting into a fight. You know, people are shoving each other back and forth. Eventually, the whole crowd of the show is kind of like swarming on them. And I'm like, yo, like these are our friends in Charleston, but these are our friends on tour. So we were like, yo, it's like, it got broken up, whatever. We finished the set. Immediately, as soon as the set finished, the whole show just kind of ran outside and the fight just resumed.
And the fight started. Because
whole fucking show, everyone there.
Because one of the dude that started shit, that was in the other band on the tour, as soon as it was, because we stopped playing, it was quiet enough for him to audibly talk shit. He just started fucking talking shit again. Which also, this was crazy because I had toured with this dude when he was in so we were on this tour with this band from California. I had toured with all of the same people before in my pop punk band when they were in a pop punk band. And I was like, you can't be acting like this. I know who you really are. I know you love the story so far. Stop acting this way. And he's just going off and talking all this shit. So then the whole show was outside wanting to beat his ass.
I think I shoved him into the merch table to get whoever was trying to get at him off of him.
I think you did. I think you threw him and busted all of our merch.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Gabe was there. Shout out Gabe.
Shout out Gabe the Pigeon. He knows what's going on. He might have evidence of this.
Yeah, Gabe, DM me the photos, please.
Please do, Gabe. I also miss you. But that was a good one.
Yeah.
I
don't want to talk about getting my nose broken like 5 times. The last time was pretty bad.
Tell me. I don't even know the story.
Lumpy broke my nose. That's
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, we got, with 2 guests, we got like 5 or 6 stories there. So we got our money's worth. Guys, this has been a really great chat. We definitely want to have you guys come back for season 2. Probably
maybe when we actually have something real band related to talk about.
Yeah, but the video game chats I think is always cool. I love talking and bridging the gaps between hardcore and the stuff that people are interested around it. Is there anything you want to plug, shout out, send people after this podcast? The floor is yours for whatever you want to end on.
Anything first? You want to go?
You go.
All right. So, follow all the Vatican socials if you want. They're just Vatican.VR, some variation of that. Follow Espionage VR and Restricted VR if you like the nerd aspects of our band for cool bootleg shit. You'll find more. Like, we'll do more of that soon. Me and Hosian do a video game podcast called the Espionage VR Podcast. If you want to hear us talk more about video games, you can check that out. You should come on at one point and do a Halo episode with us if you would like. That would be awesome.
1,000%, yes.
We will definitely do that.
We'll definitely do that.
We've been off for a while, but we're getting back into that soon. I would love to have you come. I'll DM you about it.
Dude, I'm in.
Check that stuff out. If you are in hardcore and you're a fucking like nerd or whatever, rep that shit. Like, for sure, if you're listening and you think like any of the shit, like if you like comics, movies, video games, any of that crap, and you think people think it's bullshit that like you want to rep that, fuck them. We love that shit. I love seeing my boys in my squad like rep the nerdy shit they're into. And if that's how you are, like come listen to my band. Come listen to my band because we're the people that are gonna nurture that in you. I will be your father.
Yeah. John, what about you?
I think you got it all.
Okay, and then follow me. I'm Tom Riffs on everything, and I need validation. Right. So find me on my socials and fucking tell me I'm funny.
Both of all the the Vatican stuff and the personal stuff will be in the show notes in the description of the video. Guys, this has been a blast. Very excited to be doing that podcast with you, and maybe one time you guys are in Calgary, we might have to do some kind of like Smash Brothers tournament or something and do.
I would love to. We are definitely going. I don't know what our plan will be we will do things like that officially on tour.
Yeah.
We'll bring weird pop-up shit and do dumb shit. So I'd absolutely love to do it. And I think if things go correctly, we will be up that way sometime in late 2020.
Hell yeah. Maybe. 2020 or 2021?
2021.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry.
I was like, in the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow, man. Do you have a spare room?
Yeah. But
okay, great. I'm just kind of migrating right now. I'll find your
well, again, this has been a blast, guys. Thanks for coming on.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.